Oh my goodness, what an exciting day we have today. We're going to do some art, but we're going to do just the beginning of it because we've got a lot of things to talk about before we actually start the art. Once we start the art, we're going to do it in pencil, which is different than the way we're going to see it being done, and I want to talk to you about why. I'm super excited because we're going to be able to use a brand new tool. You'll have choices. You're going to do the artwork in pencil, and then next time when we're together, we're going to choose whether or not we want to use these really cool ink. It's so satisfying. India ink, Sharpie, or oil pastels. But there's a lot we have to talk about before we get there, and we're not quite ready for that. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that we are talking today about something called folk art. Folk artists, F-O-L-K, folk artists, they don't have any special training. Now, we know Monet did, and we know lots of other people have had formal training. They went to special schools to learn about art. But folk artists, they take a craft or a hobby and they turn it into amazing pieces of art. So we're going to look at two different ones that both have to do with cups. Let's take a look. Our first artist that we're going to talk about is Heather Galler, and I'll tell you, it's kind of exciting. I've always loved her work, and then I found out she's from Rochester, New York, where Miss Pointer's from. Look at that. Look at how she uses patterns and Zentangles and all sorts of other things. She is a folk artist. Our second artist that we're going to look at is Mary Engelbrett. On your tables, you will see a page that has both Mary Engelbrett and it also has Heather's work on there. We're going to go to our team tables in a minute. You're going to have your shoulder partner, and we're going to do a think, time, pair, share. So, red team. Team 1, go to the red table. Team 2, go to orange. Team 3, you are at green. Team 4, blue. Team 5, purple. Team 6, go to the pink table. Once you're settled, you should be thinking. You should get the paper out. A's, shoulder partner A. I want you to be looking at Heather's work. B, I want you to be looking at Mary's work. You are going to compare notice and wonders. A, you're going to talk about what you notice and wonder about Heather's work. B's, you're going to talk about what you notice and wonder about Mary's. Okay, so head to the tables. Okay, we've started the video again, and what I'd like you to do is to please, A's, stand up, look at partner B. You will have 1 minute to talk about what you notice and wonder. B, it's your responsibility to ask questions if A doesn't fill the whole minute. Miss Fleming is going to put the timer on, or use her watch or whatever. She'll let us know. Remember to use a voice level 1 so that we can hear each other and we're not too loud. I'm going to have Miss Fleming pause the video while A's are talking to B's. Fantastic. Okay, A's, it's your turn to sit down, and B, it's your turn to stand up. And B's, you will be talking about Mary's work. What do you notice and wonder? You will have 1 minute to do so. And then we'll pause the video while you do that. A's, please look at B's and say, thank you for your creative thoughts. I enjoyed that. B's, please look at A's and say, thank you for your creative thought. I enjoyed that. All right, everybody should be sitting. Now we're going to pass out the special white paper. I'd like everybody to have their paper portrait, not landscape, but portrait. You need to make sure that you have good pencils and that you're ready to go. We'll pause right here.
To introduce you to an amazing artist. She is a contemporary, or an artist who's still working and painting today, probably sitting in her studio and getting ready to create just like you. Her name is Heather Galler. She's considered a folk artist, and these are just a few of her beautiful, bright, cheery, and colorful paintings. Inspired by her today, we are going to create our own magnificent masterpiece of a hot cup of chocolate. Let's talk first about this form. This form right here is called a cylinder. A cylinder, when you look at it from the top and the bottom, you see a shape. And I know you know what it is. It's a circle. But look at it here. From this perspective or point of view, it's not a circle, but an oval. What we're going to try to do is show that this is a form that is three-dimensional. It has height, width, and depth. That's going to be the base of our cup. So let's get started. I'm using an ink-filled bingo dauber, and right in the middle of my paper, I'm going to draw that curve. That's to show that the cup moves closer towards you. It's popping out of space. That's part of what makes it look three-dimensional. Now there's some of the cup that goes back into space. So to draw that, I'm going to make the opposite kind of line. I am drawing a coffee cup or a mug from the...
Okay, my lovelies, you may draw with a pencil your curved line. Now remember, we are using pencils because we will make some of those choices about the ink or about Sharpie or oil pastels or all of those things next time. We're doing pencil today. I also want you to know that we are going to be doing part of this video where she might turn the paper around. She's going to talk about all sorts of things. It is your time, and as we're going through this video, Ms. Fleming will periodically stop, and we may stop and start to talk. All right, please get ready. Draw your crescent, and here we go.
Point of view that I was holding my cylinder. Sometimes it's easy for me to rotate or turn my paper upside down to get the perfect-ish oval. It's okay if it's not perfect. Nothing ever is. There, I now have the opening of my mug. Now I want to show the height of my mug, or how tall it is. And that will all depend on the length of my line. So I'm going to draw one line that's about yay long. I'll try to make the other line about the same length. If I'm going too fast for you, just press the pause button. Now take a look at the bottom of that cylinder. It's going around. It's popping out of space. To show that it's a circle around at the bottom, I can't use a straight line, but instead a curved one. In fact, the same curved line that you saw me use at the top, I'm going to repeat it at the bottom. When two lines do exactly the same thing like those, they are called parallel lines. Now, I have parallel lines that are showing the height and the top and the bottom. Oh, what's that you're doing there, finger? Could you possibly be making the handle for my mug? Yep, it's shaped like a C. That's the top of the outline, and then the inside of the handle, which is like a cute little baby sleigh. Oh my gosh, it's almost as cute as Baby Yoda, but not quite. Now, I want to show that there's a liquid inside of my cup. There's a liquid inside of my cup. So I'm going to do another parallel line. This will show or create the illusion that there's a liquid inside of my coffee cup. Check that out. It looks like I have a 3D, what was my hand doing just there? I know, I was making steam. But what I was saying was, my mug now looks like it's 3D. To show steam coming out of my mug, I'm using a wavy line. When I do my second wavy line, it was connected to my first. Whew, I'm going so fast I can hardly keep up. If you're the same, push that pause button. Ooh, it is so steamy coming out of that coffee cup. Now, I need to make a surface for my coffee cup or my hot cocoa to sit on. So using a horizontal line, I made my table. Whoa, would you look at that? Hey, what are you doing there?
Okay, we're pausing here because I want you to spend the next few minutes doing your design on your cup. We're not going to look at her design on her cup because that's her design. Just like Mary and just like Heather made their own designs, I want you to make your own design. Are we doing the background wallpaper? No. Are we doing the table? No. We're just designing our cup with a pencil. Don't shade anything in or any of that. Just the cup markings and the design, the pattern that you want to create on your mug. I'm going to have you pause this video while you take a good 7 to 10 minutes to carefully, using your best quality work, create your mug's design. Now we're getting ready to do the last part of today. She's going to make some horizontal and vertical lines on the table. She's going to make a checkerboard. And when you look, some of those lines are nice and long and simple. Some of them she's going to go across and hit that cup and have to skip over it and continue on. Same thing with the up and down, the not just horizontal but the vertical lines. That is the last thing we are going to do on our mug today, besides making sure our name is on the back. You're going to do your horizontal and your vertical lines for your checkerboard on your table. If you have enough time after you finish this, you're going to place your artwork in the tray for your class, so we have it for Learning Extension Day, and then you may use the free draw paper to work on something. Now today's free draw, I'm okay if you use crayons with your free draw and your pencil, but please make sure you put those boxes away. So let's watch how she is doing the table.
Board. You all know what a checkerboard looks like. I'm going to show you an easy way to do it. Begin with vertical lines. Very nice. And then a couple of horizontal lines. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Then comes the slightly tricky.
Okay, now did she make itty bitty squares? No, she did not. She made great big huge thumb size, big nice squares. We're not filling in our bottom like she did. We're just leaving it like it is. Nice big squares. It's important those squares are big for what we're going to do next. So, all right, here we go.
You have some guests here.